On Yemen, Madam Secretary, what can you say about the latest you can say about the terror threat to the U.S. Embassy? And given the longstanding concerns the U.S. has had about Yemen and to the embassy itself, what is the U.S. prepared to do, as you say, to help Yemen combat their growing terrorist problem? And given the embassy's discussions with Mr. Abdul Muttalib's father, how much blame do you think the State Department bears for not highlighting the fact this gentleman had a visa and could come to the U.S. at any time, or pulling the visa? And Your Excellency, if I might just ask you to follow up on your comments, you said that there's only one solution to Yemen, and that's trying to help in a peaceful way. Could you expand on what that means and what you think the region and the U.S. can do to help Yemen? Thank you.
Those are a lot of questions, Your Excellency. Let me start. Let me start with Yemen. As you know, the U.S. Embassy in Sana'a closed January 3rd. It remains closed today. That is in response to ongoing threats by Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, so-called AQAP. That have been ongoing. They certainly predate this holiday season, and they are aimed at American interests in Yemen. On December 31st, we sent what's called a warden message to American citizens in Yemen to remind them of the continuing threat of terrorist actions and violence against American citizens and interests. And as always, we remind U.S. citizens to maintain a high level of vigilance and to practice enhanced security awareness. Now, the United States commends Yemen for the recent actions it has taken to disrupt the AQAP networks, and we are reiterating our commitment to assist in those efforts. We review our security conditions constantly, and we'll make a decision on reopening the embassy when the security conditions permit. With respect to what happened with the terrorist on the plane coming into Detroit, we are not satisfied. We are conducting an internal review. The President has called for a whole-of-government review. Based on what we know now, the State Department fully complied with the requirements set forth in the interagency process as to what should be done when a threat is, or when information about a potential threat is known. But we're looking to see whether those procedures need to be changed, upgraded, and that is my goal as Secretary, to do everything I can to make sure that not only American citizens, but all people traveling on airlines of any nationality can arrive at their destination safely. So we will be meeting with the President tomorrow to go over our internal reviews, to hear what others in our government also have concluded, and to take whatever additional steps are necessary.
Thank you. As you know, this is the 5th or the 6th war in Yemen. And for that reason, we know that this problem has to be solved through dialogue. As you know, Doha hold the last dialogue between the Houthis and the Yemeni governments, and there is an agreement being signed. And we hope that we go back and find a way to solve this problem through a meaningful dialogue, and dialogue which can give the lead for the state of Yemen, because we support the unity of Yemen, and that's a very important role. But it's a very important also not to spread our power or our efforts to these kind of things, and we have to concentrate on the terrorism and how we can fight the terrorism in our region and other, so we don't export it somewhere else.